Is marriage really that different from being in a relationship? Many couples think they are ready for marriage, but when reality hits, things change fast. Let's break down the hard truths that nobody tells you before saying, I do. Hello everyone, my name is Fiona. Welcome to Eternal Escapes, your go-to space for everything from cooking, beauty, skincare secrets, marriage, relationships, parenthood. I explore it all. Whether it's diving into something informative, just know there is always something exciting here. So please, I encourage you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, to all our social media platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, for any kind of advice, relationship advice, everything. Join me on this journey of learning, exploring, and growing. Do you think marriage is overrated or the ultimate proof of love? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. In this video, we are gonna talk about the biggest differences between dating and marriage, how to keep love alive in marriage, and then we shall talk about how commitment changes in marriage. So without wasting any much more time, let's dive into the video. Number 1 point, the biggest difference between dating and marriage. Many people assume that marriage is just an official version of dating, but in reality, it's a completely different dynamic. How does marriage change everything? In dating, you can easily walk away when things get tough, while in marriage, it's a bigger decision. Dating is about love, fun, and romance, while marriage is about shared responsibilities, bills, and real life struggles. Dating also allows personal space, but marriage involves constant partnership. For example, a couple can be together for 5 years and be perfect, but the moment they get married, issues start evolving. Why? It's because the expectations change. What are some of the things that changes when a couple gets married? Number 1, I would say commitment. How does commitment change in marriage? A marriage requires a different level of commitment than dating. Here is how commitment changes in marriage. In dating, commitment is mostly emotional and romantic, whereas in marriage, commitment includes finances, family expectations, long-term planning, and also legal obligation. You can't just think about yourself alone anymore. Every decision you make in marriage affects 2 people or the entire family. For example, in dating, you can argue and take a break, whereas in marriage, you sleep next to the person you argued with. No escaping. Now, to those who are still dating or searching, I want to give you a pro tip. I want you to ask yourself a question. Can I handle this person's worst side of life? Because you will have to stay with them for the rest of your life. As I say, it is a lifetime commitment. Now, I want us to think about something. Why do some marriages work and others fail? Many people think that love alone will keep a marriage strong, but that is a great lie. Let's look at the top reasons as to why marriages succeed. Number 1 is strong communication and emotional intelligence. So with this reason, I'll give you 2 life examples of a failed marriage and a successful marriage or relationship. Now, for the successful marriage, let's look at an example of Sarah and James. Okay, so Sarah and James have been married for 10 years. They disagree sometimes, but instead of yelling and shouting, they practice active listening. So if one of them is upset, the other asks, how can I support you? So instead of shutting down and the other person letting the other one shut down, they ask, or he or she asks, how can I support you? Rather than reacting emotionally. So this has kept their marriage going. So let us look at the other example of a failed relationship. Here we have Lisa and Mark, who never learned to communicate properly. So whenever they would argue, Lisa would ignore Mark for days, and Mark would make bigger decisions without discussing them with Lisa, leading to constant resentment, arguments, and distance. What was the end part of it? A breakup. Another point is teamwork. Couples that really do succeed, they see each other as a team, not as opponents. So they work together, they think together, they reason together. Then another point is continuous effort. Couples that really stick together, even after years, they continue to date each other, even in marriage. So the small gestures, the compliments, the surprises that they used to do while they were dating, they carry them on into marriage. This keeps them together and they keep bonding every day of their marriage. Let's also look at the top reasons as to why marriages fail. So number one is unrealistic expectations. Thinking that marriage will be the same as it was, so much full of romance, the way it was while you were still dating. I want to tell you something. In marriage, time reaches when you really can't handle the other person, when it's not anymore attractive, when you are not even as attracted to the other person. But the question is, do you go into marriage thinking that things will be the same like they are right now while you're dating? Of course not. If you do, then you are gonna get disappointed, because in there is not a bed of roses. Another point is lack of effort. Couples take each other for granted. Whatever the other person does for them as a must, as a formality. So someone is cooking, serving you food, and not even being able to say thank you, because after all, you left them at home. They were supposed to cook. You get what I mean? So stop taking each other for granted. Stop taking the small efforts as a formality, as after all he had to do it, after all she had to do it. Always show these gestures, small gestures of appreciation. Another point is avoiding hard conversations or topics. For example, financial, transparency, future goals, children. So if you don't talk about these things early on or even before marriage, then you are bound to fight about them later. That being said, successful marriages set mutual financial goals. They set a budget together. They think about financial issues together. They even talk about it, who will pay the bills, who will do this, who will do that, like a team. Not as opponents trying to compete with each other, who's having enough money, who's having a lot of money. So if you do think about these things, they are really important and deserve to be talked about. Do not avoid hard conversation. Now let me also tell you something. People rush into marriage thinking it will fix their relationship. But let me be very specific and clear on this. If dating was toxic, marriage will be worse. Over to you, my team or my viewers. What do you think is the number one reason as to why marriages fail? I want you to drop your thoughts in the comment section, and I also want you to drop points or topics that you think I should talk about next time. Are you ready for marriage? Many people want marriage, but they are actually not ready for it. I want you to ask yourself these 5 important questions before you take that very big decision. Do you really accept your partner's flaws, or do you think marriage will fix them? Have you discussed money, kids, and your long-term goals with your partner, or you are waiting to tie the knot, then you can discuss these issues? Can you handle stress together without breaking apart? or you feel like you need distance a number of days, or you need to shut down. And sometimes if you do, it happens. What does your partner do? Do they leave you to yourself, or they take time and effort to support you to find out what's really going on? Because if they leave you to yourself and if they continue doing that in marriage, then the end is really painful. Are you emotionally and mentally prepared for lifetime commitment? Because a wedding is a one-time thing, but a marriage is a lifetime thing. Now this question is over to you, my viewers. Would you really marry for love, security, or both? Drop your answers in the comment section and we shall continue engaging on this topic.